Perfect? Bang on my chest if you think I'm perfect. Go ahead, bang on it.
No heart?
You gotta have heart. Miles and miles of heart.
This is Patchwork Heart Ministries' Young Catholics Respond, brought to you by Breadbox Media. Now, here's your host, Bill Snyder.
Thanks, Adam, and welcome to the program, everybody. I am Bill Snyder. This is Young Catholics Respond, and thank you so much for being a part of our ministry and tuning in to our program today. I want to remind you that you can always go over to our website, patchworkheart.org, to find out more about our ministry and more about our radio shows, our guests that we have on the radio shows. Please go over to patchworkheart.org and check out our website. And don't forget to subscribe to our mailing list. If you do so, you're going to get a wonderful free resource called the Fearless Scriptural Rosary. And that is a wonderful, wonderful devotional for these uncertain times that we're living in. But I don't want to spend too much time talking about ourselves today because I have a wonderful guest. Her name is Kennedy Hare. She is a young Catholic professional with an incredible comeback story. She has survived a horrific, life-threatening car accident and multiple athletic injuries. She details this amazing story in her book, Through the Cross-Hehr. Welcome, Kennedy, to the program, and thank you so much for being a guest on Young Catholics Respond.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it is wonderful to talk to you. And so you have an amazing journey, and I know a little bit of it, but I want our listeners to know it. So if you would share with us your journey, and of course we can't pack in the entire book. This is not a book on tape, folks, so you're going to have to buy the book. But Kennedy, give us your faith journey. Give us your faith walk.
So I grew up in a Catholic household, baptized, reconciliation, confirmation, all of that. Went to Catholic school, St. Francis de Sales in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And so faith has always been a big part of my life. And then when I was a freshman in high school, I was in a serious life-threatening car accident, like you said, and that almost took my life. So truly, I should not be here right now. Words from the surgeon and every other doctor that I, came in contact with on that day, January 26th of 2014. So waking up in the hospital alive after looking at my best friend at the time saying, this is it for me. I'm going here, like I'm done, was a game changer for me as far as my faith goes. I truly saw the impact that God can have on somebody's life, mine personally. In terms of the surgeon, I was a miracle. I still am to this day, and no one can ever take that away from me. So right now I try to live life to the fullest every day. And I was told I was never going to play volleyball again. My goal was to play in a tournament in April after this car accident in January. And, the surgeon's exact words to my parents were, she can dream. So at that point, it was just, be happy you're here type thing. And I ended up doing that. Went on to play Division I college volleyball, actually at two different schools, Coastal Carolina and North Carolina at Charlotte. I graduated in 3 years, which was one of my biggest accomplishments, one of my biggest goals. And through that whole process, through the car accident, having 2 knee surgeries after that, having all the odds stacked against me, back against the wall, target on my back type thing, I wouldn't have been able to do it without God, without my faith being strong, without giving all the glory to God through wins and losses and trials and tribulations. And, I wouldn't be where I am today without him. But at the same time, I'll admit to anyone that, of course, there were times where I sat there and I, just looked at him and said, why me? Like, why is this happening? Why can't I just have, the easy road or whatever? I've never had an easy road. Anyone that knows me could tell you that. So I could get emotional like my mom right now talking about it, but it's been a long time coming, and I have accomplished, a lot of goals in my life that some people, never do. So yeah, it's been a pleasure to be a Division I college athlete, as hard as it was. That is really the main point of my book, besides the faith and how I never would have done it without God. A main thing was how politics have got in the way of my, college athletic career, and it really affected me. and I had to find myself outside of a sport. So when I was 14 in my car accident, that was my first time finding myself outside of a sport. But in college, more injuries, that sidelined me, made me realize, like, truly the only thing that matters is that I am a child of God. And in his eyes, I'm always going to be enough. And so is everybody else, despite, setbacks, comebacks, injuries, not. So honestly, at the end of the day, I'm just happy to be here, and I wouldn't be here without the big man upstairs and everything that he's done for me.
Yeah, you said a couple of things in just talking there that I want to touch on for people, because I think they're really important, especially for young people, to realize, it's amazing what a disaster or a life-threatening injury can do to somebody and move them closer to God, right? I would love to know some of the moments, where you were asking, why me? Why did this happen to me? How did that move you closer to God, and how did he reveal himself? Were there any moments where he really revealed himself to you in a powerful way, whether it be in the hospital or through some of the injuries, through some of your friends? Were there any moments in there that were like, man, God, I can feel your presence?
A big thing for me would definitely be, right after the car accident. Like I said, I did look at my friend and say, as my eyes were rolling back in my head, that it was over for me. They call it the golden hour. You have an hour to get to the hospital after a traumatic incident. And, my stomach was cut in half. I had a hole in my small intestine and duodenum. And so I got there in 59 minutes. So after hearing that information, that was a big sign of God. Hearing that I was a miracle from the surgeon, that was another sign. Hearing that I'd never play volleyball again and doing it, another sign. So, but like you said, where I would say, why me? I mean, I've always been a very independent person, and I've never wanted to have to rely on anyone for anything, really. And there were I couldn't even tie my own shoe. I couldn't even, reach something high up in a cabinet, or take a shower, or brush my teeth, like brush my hair. I couldn't do anything by myself. And so I remember it perfectly clearly, as I was literally sitting on my kitchen floor trying to tie my shoe, and I just started crying, like, what, are you kidding me? Like, I've never had to be dependent, and now I'm fully dependent. I can't do anything by myself. And so that was the biggest moment for me, where I truly was like in a crippling state of, what is happening? Like, is there any way I can possibly, come out of this? So Jeremiah 29:11 is what I have leaned on. And the more I actually is around my neck right now, the more I see it, the more I say it. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. That's where I really saw God, is, in the Bible and daily scriptures, things like that. And just seeing little stepping stones that were, for me at the time, milestones. Because some people never come back from that, mentally, emotionally, physically. And, I'm here today to say I've come back in every aspect. I have my days, we all do, but God has prevailed, like, as he always does.
Yeah, it's amazing. God always wins, and he wins in your story so beautifully and so powerfully. I wonder if you can tell us a little bit about, what it's like to even go from where you are. And I've seen some of the pictures of of you laying in the hospital. I think some of them are in your book too, right? Did you put some of the pictures in the book? Yeah. So folks, when you get this book, and then you see her, playing Division I volleyball, right? Like, that's incredible. And maybe just touch a little bit on that journey and the discipline that athletics provides people. Like, there's something about athletics that will, because it gives you a goal, it gives you a regimen, it gives you so many great life lessons. Talk just a little bit about having that goal and being able to achieve it with God's help. And were there people along the way that you impacted, either people that were saying there's no way she's ever going to be able to do this, and people that were maybe putting you down in some way that you ended up helping transform through the grace of God?
So honestly, I was someone who actually had to deal with a lot of, bullying and negativity in high school. myself and all my, siblings, we all wanted one thing, was to play a sport at the highest level. And that means you have to, do things that people don't do, or you have to not go to things that people do go to. And so I, had my days where I struggled with that, but I knew what my ultimate goal was. I wanted to play Division I college volleyball, and truly there was nothing that was going to stop me from that unless I just physically wasn't capable. And so that's what was told to me, actually. But the goal was never changed. It was always there. And a year after my car accident, I actually went on to be in the national championship for my club team. So that was another sign where I knew, I could do it. A knee surgery after that, one before that and one after that, was a struggle for sure. But the college, whether you play, sports in middle school, high school, college, or beyond, there's a whole different type of dedication and drive, motivation, perseverance that you have to have, especially at the college level, especially at the Division I level, but any level, to commit to doing that. They say you sign your life away, and you really kind of do. So, you don't really have much time to do things for yourself. You're on a very tight schedule. You're doing I personally took 18 college credits most semesters, but usually people take 12, and, you're practicing 40 hours a week. And so it's a full-time job. It takes a lot to be a college athlete, and I respect everyone who's done it, every level, 3, 2, 1, NAIA, whatever it may be, because those life lessons that you learn, the discipline, commitment, time, priorities, not procrastinating, all of that, I would have never been as good at it without college sports. My biggest fear was always being late to a workout during daylight savings time or something, because, you don't want to know the punishments if you are. So, and, I've always had a drive like that, and a lot of people have a drive like that without playing sports, but competitive college sports can really, bring that side out of you. And during the job interview process, you either love college athletes or you strongly dislike them. And so the love for them usually kind of trumps the hate for them, but because people know what it takes to be one. So I talked a lot about it in my book, about how it's just debilitating and just so hard at times, and you wonder, why am I even doing this? Especially if you're not on full scholarship. So I would never, I wouldn't tell anyone to not do it. I would be honest, as I am in my book and as I am right now, about how hard it really can be. But there's something to say about college athletes, and, like I said, even athletes at a younger age, because it takes a lot of time and you have to give up a lot of things that the average person wouldn't really give up.
Yeah. It's so amazing, and your journey is truly inspirational. I know there's a lot of young people out there listening to this program right now, resonating with it. I have to take a short break here, Kennedy, but when we come back, I want to talk with you more about the book and how people can get it and all of those things, and really what inspired you to take this and put it into the written word. So we're going to take a short break here on Young Catholics Respond. We'll be right back after these messages. I'm Bill Snyder. Don't go anywhere. Judy Hehr was a bankrupt, homeless, drug-addicted college dropout on the brink of divorce, but is now a seminary graduate and devoted wife and mother of 4 children. What happened? Find out in her autobiography, Shattered: How God Restored My Heart and Life. Her journey of faith has been called brutally honest, truly inspiring, profound, heartbreaking, and life-changing. Shattered is available now for only $15 on her website, judyhehr.com, on Amazon.com, or at your local Catholic bookstore. As Judy says, it is never too late to become the person you deserve and desire to be. So stop wishing for change and start doing something about it by reserving your copy of Shattered today.
Patchwork Heart Ministry is committed to sowing hope into broken hearts by helping young people encounter the love of Jesus Christ and His Catholic Church through prayer, storytelling, and media initiatives. We invite you to prayerfully consider supporting this mission financially. Mail your tax-deductible donation to Patchwork Heart Ministry at P.O. Box 563, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, zip code 53147. Or visit patchworkheart.org to donate online. That's Patchwork Heart Ministry, P.O. Box 563, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin 53147, or online at patchworkheart.org.
The words spoken by Our Lady of Guadalupe to Juan Diego nearly 500 years ago are almost too good to be true. Asking that a temple be built at the site of her apparition, she promised that here I will give all my love, my compassion, my help, and my protection to all those who love me, cry to me, seek me, and who have confidence in me. Here I will listen to their weepings and alleviate all their sufferings, necessities, and misfortunes. My name is Alan Napleton, and I live in Dallas, Texas. I have visited her shrine in Mexico City dozens of times, bringing my own petitions, and have found Our Lady to be true to her word. Over the years, I have brought hundreds of pilgrims to this holy place without incidents, and have now founded Viva Guadalupe, a nonprofit that provides safe and inexpensive pilgrimages to Our Lady's shrine. If you would like to take our Blessed Mother up on her promise and learn more about how you can visit this special place of grace, please visit vivaguadalupe.org for more information.
Hi everybody, Bill Snyder here. Just want to thank you for listening to this episode of Young Catholics Respond. And as a founder of Patchwork Heart Ministry, we have so much more going on than just our podcasts. Check it out at patchworkheart.org.
At times it seems like the world today is filled with so much division, bigotry, and hatred. So it's up to us to make sure that we get back to the basics, and that is Jesus Christ and His message of faith, hope, and love. Faith, Hope, Love with John and Morgan Bender is a new project that seeks to do just that by engaging and inspiring Catholics within the Archdiocese of Milwaukee and beyond. Read personal faith stories, interviews, and news all by visiting the Faith, Hope, and Love blog.blogspot.com or follow us on Twitter at Johnny Bender MKE.
Your heart is always beating, but you never have to think about it.
Welcome back to Young Catholics Respond. Once again, Bill Snyder.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Young Catholics Respond. Today my guest is Kennedy Hare. She is a young Catholic professional with an incredible faith journey and story that you just want to hear over and over again. And she has a book out called Through the Cross-Hehr. I'm going to spell that for you. CROSS-HEHR, which is also how you spell her last name. So make sure that you check it out. But Kennedy, I want to find out, you really talked about your journey of faith, which is so inspirational in the first half of this interview. But I want to transition a little bit about, to understanding how you decided at really such a young age to take this and place it in the written word in a book that just came out earlier this year in May. So talk to us a little bit about the creation process of this book.
So I originally started it my freshman year of college volleyball. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do it. The beginning was more so as kind of like a coping mechanism for me for just the mental, emotional, and physical,
trauma.
Struggles, trauma. Yeah, I guess. Thanks that I was going through at the time. It was more of a coping mechanism. But when I got more into it, I kind of realized that a lot of the things that I was saying, people need to hear, whether it's about faith, about sports, about, just feeling like so alone. A lot of people deal with those struggles. So I got to the point where I made a decision. I was going to write a book. I, had changed the deadline probably 5 different times, but I did end up finishing it as we all know now. And honestly, I'm glad I took that long, because if I would have published it any sooner, I wouldn't have been able to portray what I wanted to portray, or get out everything I needed to get out. So while a lot of it is based on setbacks and the comebacks that I personally went through, it is about faith. It is about how, feeling alone can really push you in a corner that you don't really know how to get out of necessarily. So that was something I knew young people, middle-aged, older, athletes, non-athletes could all relate to. So that's why I tried to kind of make it an overall thing, with God being, the center, and knowing at the end of the day that you are enough, no matter who tells you that you're not, or how you feel on some days. And, I can be honest right now and say there are times where I read those parts in my book because I struggle too. So I'm so happy that I got the chance to write it. It was the biggest struggle for me, was just trying to make sure that I didn't portray anything or anyone in a negative light, as much as just tell my story from my perspective. And no one can take that away from me. No one can take away, what I personally went through, the trauma I endured physically, emotionally, mentally. So that's where I really had to put my foot down and say, like, people want to hear this. People want to hear my story. I could really inspire a lot of people. And it's only been out a few months, and the amount of love and messages I've gotten has been unbelievable. I'm hoping, a lot more people can hear about it and read it. Even if you're not an athlete, or even if you are kind of questioning your faith, hopefully, my book could help you be solidified in the fact that God is really the only thing that is going to get you through everything. So at the end of the day, I finished it in around May. And so I guess 3 years or so was the final number. But coronavirus was what really prompted me to finish it. I said, I'm at home. I have college classes, but I'm home all day. I have literally no excuse. Like, there's no excuse to not finish this. So March to May, I've never typed more in my life. I mean, there was a Google document of like 200 pages. So right. Thankful for my mom. She helped me get to the publishing process with her publishing company, Ingram Spark, and a bunch of people who helped me with my book, editing, Emily Hickey, cover people, Natasha Morehouse, Shelby Ladwig. There's so many people I'm probably forgetting, but if you help me with my book, thank you. I'm so happy to have it out right now. And I'm really just, honestly, the only thing I wanted to do with it was really if I could touch one person's heart or change one person's life, then I did my job by publishing it. I actually just took some pictures with it the other day, just to kind of, remind myself that this was a big accomplishment, no matter, who says otherwise, and just to try to get it out there for more people to see and get to experience. Because if you are going through something that I happen to have gone through, it's awesome to be able to read something knowing that, someone else got through it, so you can too, through my faith and through the works of God, grace of God.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is really incredible is how when you put this into words and in a public way, when you decide, okay, I'm going to write this, and I'm going to move forward to this. This is what God is calling me to do, because my story is not necessarily about me, right? The reason why you went through all of what you went through was for a purpose, and your book kind of gives a definition and a purpose for all of the pain, all of the struggle, all of the trauma, the emotional stuff, all of that stuff that you had to go through now has purpose, and that purpose is to help other people. And there is a physical reminder of that to help other people with a copy of your book, right? I mean, I think that that's such a cool insight to have, and to have it even such a young age. I mean, just to be able to say, listen, I want to help other people, and you don't necessarily have to go through all of the things that I have been through. You don't have to go through, almost losing your life in a car crash. You don't have to go through all of the stuff that I've been through. But if I can make it through this, maybe you can make it through whatever you are going through, however great, however small those trials in somebody's life is. It doesn't necessarily have to be equal to what you went through. And so that is such a beautiful insight, and to recognize that at your age, I hope you've got another one, another book in you after this, because you've got such a great perspective. You got such a great perspective. I want to talk a little bit as we're kind of winding things up here, and time is running out, just with how people can get it and how people can get in touch with you, because oftentimes, people listen to this on the radio or on their phone, and they say, hey, man, the Holy Spirit really spoke to me. So how can people get in touch with you, and how can people get a copy of this book, going forward?
Honestly, I hope the Holy Spirit spoke to somebody or some people. I hope I touched somebody's heart today. You can get in contact with me through Instagram or Facebook. It's just my name. And he spelled it out for you, Hehr. Or email, just my first and last name at Hotmail. Messenger, anything like that. You can buy the book from Amazon.com, or you can get it from me directly, and then I will personally sign it and write a note to whoever it may be going to. If you wanted to buy it for yourself or for a friend or a family member, I personally sign every single one of my books that goes out from me. And so either way, it's really the same price, $25. So if you have Amazon Prime, you might get it a little bit faster, but with COVID, you might actually get it faster from me. So either way works. But as of right now, as far as I know, those are the only two ways to get it.
Awesome. That's great stuff. Again, just to give you the information, Kennedy, Hehr at hotmail.com. Is your email. So if you'd like a copy of the book directly signed, all that stuff, just email Kennedy, or of course Instagram and Facebook, same thing, Kennedy, Hehr, and she'll be able to interact with you and talk with you. But I'm sure that's what social media is there for too, right? If people have questions or just want to send you a note about your uplifting story, which I'm sure you're getting plenty of anyway, right? Through this process. So Kennedy, thank you so much for coming on the program and being here. I hope to have you back. It's going to be wonderful to see how the book does over this year. So thank you so very much, and it's really been a pleasure having you on today.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Like I said, hopefully I touched at least one person today. And please reach out to me. Even if you don't want a book, I would love to hear from you guys. That's my favorite thing. Or any connection I can make, anyone I can get in contact with. That's my favorite part. So please reach out. I would love to talk to any of you.
Awesome. And know that you've touched at least one person, because you've touched my heart. So that's, that's important to note. And I'm sure many, many more. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us. Again, if you missed anything in the interview, or you want to listen to it again, if you're listening on the radio, head over to our website, patchworkheart.org, and you'll be able to listen to the complete interview. Again, if you're catching this about halfway through or something on the radio or whatnot, go ahead over to patchworkheart.org. You'll be able to hear the entire recorded episode on our website. So thank you to Kennedy Hehr as my guest today. And thank you for listening. Until next time, I'm Bill Snyder. Keep beating to your Catholic heart.
You've been listening to Young Catholics Respond, a radio initiative of Patchwork Heart Ministry. To learn more about our ministry and program, visit us at patchworkheart.org. Or to get exclusive access and early ministry updates, become our patron on Patreon by searching for Patchwork Heart Ministry.